suggestion to him that he go easy on Mike Flynn, Comey acknowledged that the president could tell him what to investigate. He suggested that the president's comment to him was entirely illegal. That got lost in the reportage. So, there is an extremely forceful argument based on the Constitution's text and practice for presidential supremacy as a corollary of the principle of democratic accountability. The problem is this: democratic accountability is not the only constitutional principle at play here. It is in tension with the opposite principle of prosecutorial independence. In an unwritten constitution, original intent is not the only source of our constitutional norms, and since Watergate, and we do have an unwritten constitution along with the written one, since Watergate, we have increasingly enshrined in our unwritten constitution the principle of prosecutorial independence. Where does that come from? Well, it's not really clear. There's no clear textual basis in the Constitution. We think of the president as not a sun king. We pay homage to the principle that no one is above the law. If the president had control over investigations into himself or his staff, he would, in essence, be cloaked in impunity. That can't be right. We accept the principle that no one should be a judge of his own case, as the president would be if he could control the investigation or fire the prosecutor. We believe in equal justice under law for the powerful as well as the weak. So these quasi-constitutional principles have breathed life into the principle of prosecutorial independence as an independent check on presidential power. Well, think about that for a minute. No doubt this idea of an independent bureaucratic check on presidential power is welcomed by the managers of the national security state, who have, at least some of them, been pining for years for greater bureaucratic autonomy, though they've never claimed it outright. Why be coy about it any longer? Of course we can check the president. Of course we can check elected officials. It's entirely appropriate. This is part of our evolved system of checks and balances. Listen to the words of a former high-ranking official in the CIA and the FBI, Philip Mudd. He said this on CNN about 2 weeks ago. This is a quote. "So, the FBI people, I'm going to tell you, are ticked. And they're going to be saying, I guarantee it, you think you could push us off this because you can try to intimidate the director? You better think again, Mr. President. You've been around for 13 months. We've been around since 1908. I know how this game is going to be played, and we're going to win." Unquote. Now, lest you think that those are the views of one CIA, FBI alum, I've got news for you. There are a lot of quotes that line up behind that one, beginning with, for example, Mike Morell's op-ed piece in the Washington Post several months ago, bemoaning the fact that President Trump's advisors have not been managing him effectively. It's the job of his intelligence community advisors to manage the president. When he said something that was supposedly inappropriate to Soviet Foreign Minister Lavrov, Morell excoriated H.R. McMaster for not managing him and preventing him from saying this. Again, it was a policy question. Senator Schumer has joined Bill Kristol in the New Yorker